How are you? Robbie Richmond here for the Shoot to Defence, your view post-match shenanigans. Liverpool 3, somebody else 0. And it's a return to winning ways. No, it's just more winning ways. Liverpool have so much momentum going into the end of the season. And in many ways, if you're a neutral, it's kind of a shame that the top four by and large is pretty much done and dusted. Chelsea with a remarkable comeback, keeping their hopes alive. And it's hard to say watching that game whether or not it was just that Southampton are awful or Chelsea are Chelsea. But it doesn't really matter because Liverpool have won, and Liverpool only need to win another 3 games this season, and they look very good to be able to do that. I really like it when Liverpool play Bournemouth because they don't really do like the blocking passing lanes even. They don't really harass people up front and put them under pressure. I mean, they played Jermaine Defoe up front. And, you know, Jermaine's had a great career and all that. But he's not exactly known for being a bit of a, Jack Russell and getting at players and putting them under pressure, is he? Let's be honest. Just not his game. Fox in the box and all that bobbins. Anyway, what about Mo's goal? We've got to talk about Mo's goal. Legitimately, nothing surprises me what he does anymore. I'm never surprised by what he does. I mean, we can wax lyrical about him all season, and people are. There's only one thing you can say about the lad, and like he's in the form of his life, and that's all there is to it. He's in the form of his life. I have no idea if he's going to be able to replicate this next season. I don't think so. We might buy somebody and we'll use him like as a decoy, much like we've done with Sadio Mane this year, who scored a lovely goal. Like the build-up play to that was great. Bobby with a lovely goal at the end as well. So all 3 of them have scored. I'm led to believe that we've scored 82 goals between them, which is astonishing. And obviously Mo scored 30 in the league, 40 in total for Liverpool this season in all competitions. Yeah, he's wonderful. We can do. He's a wonderful player. Like, don't at me. I know you all want him. I know you all wish you had him. And like we paid, what was it, 35.5 million? So all you can do is just shrug your shoulders and just like, and they had to convince Klopp to buy him. They had to convince him to buy him. And it's worked out magnificently. And there's nothing quite like having, you hear stories like this that come out in the press and things like that. You arrive with a point to prove and you do something about it. I'm just watching Bobby's goal again here, and I don't really know what's happened to Begovic. He was always like a reasonably solid goalkeeper. And he went to Chelsea and he's just gone to tits. So that was such life. I do want to say something about Nathan Ake. I thought Nathan Ake had a really, really strong game for the most part. And it took a bit of magic from Mo to get the better of him in the end of the end of the game. He's a player I always really liked, Nathan. I can't even say his name. Jesus Christ, I can barely speak as it is. Like, this is how befuddled I am by the finish of Mo, and they call him Farah. See what I mean? I'm so befuddled. I'm just befuddled. I'm Captain Befuddled of the See? I can't even say that. I'll try it again. I'm Captain Befuddled of the Starship. Can't talk properly anymore. Whatevs. Listen, Liverpool were absolutely fantastic and wonderful. It's wonderful that the Reds have got a home win, particularly on this weekend, as we know. So if you don't know, I had family pass away at Hillsborough, so it's very close to my heart, as it is with most Liverpool supporters, be them homegrown, dyed-in-the-wool Scousers, Wolves, plastic Reds, foreign Reds, doesn't really matter. We all share the same. It's the one thing that binds us together is the tragedy and travesty at Hillsborough. So it's nice that we were able to remember everybody and give praise in some ways with a great result. And we honour their memory, which we do every year. So yeah, that's a bit. I'm really, really happy. If you told me at the start of the season that Liverpool would be in the semi-finals of the European Cup and guaranteed nailed on going to finish in the top 4, I'd have snapped your hands off. All right, and I'd like to think we're going to win the Champions League. Liverpool win the Champions League when there is a royal wedding and when we have a new Doctor Who. Okay, we have a royal wedding coming up in the summer, and we've got a new Doctor Who, a really, really pretty one as well. So anyway, if you'd offered me that before kickoff, I'd have snapped your hands off. Do you know what I mean? Like the kickoff of the season, you said that's where we're gonna, that's what's gonna happen, Rob. I'd have gone, yeah, I'll take that all day. What I wasn't quite, I kind of had an idea, but I had an inkling. But what's delighted me is the growth of the team. I said after the first Manchester City game, like the unity inside this team is absolutely wonderful, and I can best describe it as a kind of a tangible example is that there are a lot of people that don't like Hendo, Jordan Henderson, and don't think he should be Liverpool captain. And there's also an argument that Jordan got the armband by default. There's also an argument that Jordan's not a very good captain simply because he isn't Steven Gerrard. I've seen that so many times at other clubs. What I've seen over the course of this season is the growth, the confidence, the leadership, the on-field tactical nous that's been introduced into the team. And it's again, this is something that happens incrementally over the course of the season. But if you said to me, next year Liverpool are going to have a new captain, I'd go, okay, is it Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain? Is it Van Dijk? Is it Sadio Mane? Is it Bobby Firmino? Is it Robertson? They've all put their hands up this year and all look like capable leaders, and they're all. It's the slow progression is becoming a truly great team, which I'm over the moon about, because as I've said in many videos over the course of this season and last season, like it's a process. It takes time to build your culture, to get the attitude right, and that's where we are. And you know, honestly, I wish we could play Bournemouth every week. Of course, I think a lot of teams do. They're one of the few teams that don't come to Liverpool and park the bus, but job done convincingly. We're never in trouble, and yeah, happy days. We move on. I believe we've got a week off now. That's great. If we've got a week off, we haven't got a midweek. Oh, do we have a midweek game? We do have a midweek game, don't we? Oh crap, that's a shame, because obviously it's the FA Cup semi-finals next week, and it'd be nice to have had some time off before we go to we play Roma. So I don't know. I haven't even looked. I'll be honest with you. So just ignore the last like 35 seconds or so of me just yabbering on. Again, this is me not being able to talk properly or function properly because it's just so wonderfully exciting being a Liverpool fan at the moment. Happy days. So I'll speak to you in the week, I imagine. I think we're playing. Don't really want to check in the midst of a video. By the way, you'll also see that I've shot this video from a funky angle. I do have 2 degrees in film, you know.